Want to get your thoughts on the Russia-Ukraine war. On the one hand, we keep hearing that they want to bring this thing to an end. And then over the weekend, they do the single biggest attack on Russia since World War II. It was this huge espionage attack with hidden drones all attacking at the same time. They're calling this the Pearl Harbor of Russia, where billions of dollars of military equipment was wiped out. That sure doesn't sound like someone that wants to bring a war to an end. Your thoughts?
So, what we do at the Government Accountability Institute is we kind of look at like, what are some things that everybody agrees are problems, right? And we try to do this on a weekly basis on our podcast. So what are some things that everybody thinks are problems? And like, well, if everybody agrees that they're problems, then how come they're not being solved? And usually the reason is because the status quo is too profitable for entities that are too powerful. I mean, bottom line. So I'm not a military tactician, but I do understand math, and I understand how much money is going to lots of different entities that are profiting off of the continuation of this Ukraine-Russia war, not the least of which are a significant number of United States defense companies. And I just remember this, Stephen. I think it was like 2022, and they were trying to pass some budget continuation bill in Congress. And Mitch McConnell said that the number one priority, his rationale for approving whatever the continuation was, the continuing budget resolution that kind of funded everything. And he goes, look, the number one priority for Republican voters is ensuring Ukraine's sovereignty and defense. And I was like, which Republican voters is he talking to? Because I don't believe that. Like, I think people are genuinely pro-life and they want people to be safe and survive. I don't know that continuing to fund Ukraine's defense, and not just the defense, right? But like their social service systems, and we're paying for their, I think, social safety net benefits. And then we're paying for all kinds of stuff, right? Small businesses. And I think I've heard you say that it doesn't make sense to most people's brains. Why does it make more sense for our money to go over there than here? And so, it just tells me that they need to keep the system moving, to keep the money moving. And the war continuing is good for a lot of businesses' bottom lines.
I mean, I know they don't want to solve diabetes because there's too much money in it. I know they don't want to solve cancer because there's too much money in it. And I know they don't want to solve this war because there's too much damn money in it. But Americans, we're done. We don't want war.
Even the conversation you're having about Ukraine and Russia, should our money go there? People are like, no, that's our money. It's our priorities. This is insane. It's not good for the American people. It's good for some American companies. Let's stop it. And that's a view that Donald Trump not only agrees with, but fights for every day. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, I'm personally waiting for him to just cut off all taxpayer money and weapons to Ukraine. When he did that the first time, all of a sudden, NATO and Europe, they wanted peace. He turned it back on. What did they do? They immediately start firing deep into Russia. And now this attack. I just think at some point he's going to have to do America first and cut off the money. We'll see. I don't know.